We've got a lot of men's basketball for you in this edition of Owlsports, including a Big 5 matchup and a road game against the top team in the nation. Owlsports Update starts right now! Hello there, one and all, and welcome to this edition of Owlsports Update. Alongside Josh Filomeno, I'm Matt Plunkett. Coming up, a little birdie told me Temple student section had a funeral planned for our conference rival.
And the baseball team did something they haven't done since Neil Armstrong walked on the moon. But first, the men's basketball team takes a trip to Hades. The men's basketball team took a trip down to Cameron Indoor Stadium to play the top-ranked team in the nation and the Duke Blue Devils. How hard is it to win in Cameron Indoor Stadium, you ask? Good question. With answers, updates, Dan Koob is standing by in the newsroom. Just getting back from Durham, too. Looking good, Dan.
Thanks, Josh. I appreciate it. And let me tell you, if I ever see the inside of the Owlsports Update mobile again, it'll be too soon. But to answer your question, it's really tough to win in Cameron Indoor Stadium. I have the paint chips from half-nude bodies to prove it. Duke not only had a 34-game home streak on the line, but they hadn't lost at home to a non-conference foe since February of 2000. That's 85 straight, with the Temple Owls coming to town. The Owls looking for a win against the Blue Devils for the first time since 1996. Lavoy Allen gets it started here with a three from the corner, putting Temple out in front in the early going. We're going to fast forward here to the end of the first half. Nolan Smith creating space for Seth Curry, who bangs in a three to go into the locker room up 7 for the Blue Devils. Second half, Juan driving, had his shot sent all the way back to Philadelphia by Mason Plumlee. Then on the other end, Plumlee splashed down all over the Owls. Duke up 14. Temple tried to smash a comeback. Lavoy Allen here in the paint. Turnaround bucket brings Temple within 15 with 4.5 minutes left. But just too much Duke in this one. Kyle Singler goes around Lavoy, lays in for two. He finished with 28. Duke 78-61. Now the loss to number one stings, and when you're as injured as the Owls are, like playing only 7 guys against Duke, all the attention will be on how the team juggles their healthy players in and out from here on out. Gentlemen, back to you.
Thanks, Dan. Josh, when you start a college season, it's usually hard to figure out who might step up to replace those players who graduated the year before.
And the Temple men's basketball team had 2 holes to fill in their drive towards another conference title.
This year's Temple men's basketball team only brought back 3 starters, leaving 2 spots to be filled. Everyone knew junior guard Ramon Moore was going to get a start, but who was going to be the 5th starter? It was a decision that Coach Fran Dunphy came to sooner than you might think.
Probably over the summer.
Then on opening night, everyone else found out just who the final starter was. That final starter was Scooty Randall. It's a role he has been taking very seriously.
Some of the guys is quiet, so I had to be a leader to the team and take that role. And I just had to, carry the guys in, the best way I can.
This is where Scooty Randall spent the majority of the season last year, averaging only 7 minutes on the court. Now, he's averaging 7 minutes on the bench. Not only is Randall leading the team in minutes, he's also second in field goal percentage and points per game, including a career-high 28 points against Xavier. This transition is something he's fully embraced.
I think he's been critical to any success that we have had. I think Scooty Randall's a very large part of that. He's making really good decisions on both ends of the court, but he's a good man, and I think he cares about his teammates.
So letting the guys know that I'm here for them, letting them guys know whenever they need something, they can call me.
Last week, Temple took on Richmond. We picked this up in the first half. Juan Fernandez in the corner. Tres, por favor. Gracias. Then Lavoy Allen tells Dan Drew, give me back my lemonade. The Owls would go up 9 into the locker room at half. In the second half, it was all Owls, led by Ramon Moore's game-high 24 points with this Jordan S. jam here. Then DeLeo finds him as he finishes over the defender. Tumble was just too much for Richmond.
73-53. The win secures Temple second place in the A10.
The Owls played 3 games in the past 7 days. Lost in the mix between their matchups with Richmond and Duke was a home game versus St. Joe's. Temple center Lavoy Allen came into this one needing just 10 boards to break the all-time school record. Early on, Juan Fernandez gets this steal, passes it down court to Ramon Moore for the easy slam. The Hawks tried sticking around here with a nice jumper coming up from Langston Galloway for 2 of his 17 points. Later on, Fernandez finds Khalif White in the corner for 3 buckets. That was 1 of 3 threes for White on the day. White then decides it's time to drop a dime, finding Jefferson underneath for the exclamation point dunk. The Owls go on to win 66-52. As for Lavoy, no highlights on the tape, but the record did fall. Allen grabbed 12 boards on the night. Overall, his career total number of 1,045 puts him just past John Baum as the all-time rebounding leader in school history. Baum had held the record since 1969.
Last weekend's Temple-St. Joe's game was more than just a rivalry. For Temple fans, it was a day of mourning. Updates James Dalton has more.
Last Sunday, a sold-out Leah Chorus crowd attended Temple and St. Joe's second meeting of the season. Most of the arena was painted with cherry and white, except for the student section that wasn't wearing its usual colors. By taking advantage of a down year for St. Joe's basketball, Temple's Cherry Crusade organized a funeral for the Hawk, proclaiming the Hawk is dead. Their packed student section, garnished in black, came prepared to bury its inner-city rivalry for good.
For 50-some-odd years, the St. Joe's battle cry has been, the Hawk will never die. So we've now, after today, beaten them 9 in a row. So we wanted to do something, play off their chant, saying that the Hawk is dead once and for all.
Rest in peace t-shirts, funeral programs, veils, tissues, and rollouts. The entire section wore suits and dresses as they brandished cleverly worded handmade gravestones in commemoration. There was even a casket with Temple students acting as pallbearers.
I think we made the experience better for the fans, and hopefully that fans who came to this game will maybe come back to other games they normally wouldn't come to because they had so much fun at the end when everyone was standing.
So with 1 minute remaining and cruising towards a win, Temple revealed its last present of the night by tweaking their I Believe chant. At the Leah Chorus Center, I'm James Dalton, Owlsports Update.
While the men's 8-game winning streak was impressive, even though it's over now, the women's basketball team is playing at an even higher level. On Wednesday, the Owls beat St. Joe's 52-49 to win the Big 5 title. It was Temple's 15th straight win, upping their record to 22-6 overall and 13-0 in conference. Earlier in the week versus Dayton, the Leah Chorus Center, we pick it up. Shea Petty shooting and hitting the 3-ball. She finished with a team-high 17 points. Later on, Victoria McCulley got into the action as she spins and tosses to the left, finishes with one hand. And from there on, it was all out. So we push it to the second half, where the women held Dayton to only 20% shooting from the field. This was the second straight game in which the Owls had at least 5 players score in double figures. The Owls won this one 76-52. The women have their biggest test of the season coming up this weekend as they face A10 rival and nationally ranked Xavier on February 28th at the Leah Chorus Center. Both teams are tied atop of the Atlantic 10 with perfect records. The winner will grab the first overall seed in the A10 tournament, which starts March 4th. Owlsports will be right back.
Why not? I think so.
How's everybody doing tonight?
Hello.
Chrissy, hey.
Hey, Alex.
How are you?
Alex? Alex?
Oh.
Hello. I'm Mrs. Garcia. We've heard a lot about you.
He is cute. Stop.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who would love to put up with you.
We got major college football here in Philadelphia at the lake for everyone to love and enjoy. And what I want you to do is bring your passion, bring your energy, bring your love of the game of football, and let's cheer this team on and have a great season. Appreciate it. Go Owls.
Welcome back. I mean, can you tell Temple's new football coach is pretty fired up about his new job? Steve Adazio made this speech at the men's hoops game versus St. Joe's this past week. In fact, Adazio has a lot to be excited about. Temple also announced that Notre Dame is coming to Lincoln Financial Field. That's right, starting in 2013, the Owls will start a 3-game series against the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. The Owls will host Notre Dame on October 11th in 2014 and travel to South Bend on September 26th in 2015. The third game is to be determined.
Well, I just think what it means to the team is we're playing another great non-conference opponent, and it'll be an exciting atmosphere, obviously, whether it's home or away. At home, it'll be a sold-out Lincoln Financial Field. It'll be national focus, national attention, and, you want to play the best, and you want to play great opponents. That's what you want to do. So it's another opportunity to play a great football team.
The baseball team started what looks to be a promising season last week in North Carolina. The team left Durham Athletic Park on Sunday with a 3-0 record, the first time they have started such a record since 1969. Freshman pitcher Matt Hockenberry was a major player for the Owls, holding North Carolina to just 17 runs in the series compared to the Owls' 62. The men stay in North Carolina to keep the momentum going. They start a 3-game series against High Point on February 25th to the 27th. Then to Elon on March 3rd to take on West Virginia and Elon on the 4th. The Temple softball team has named its captains for the 2011 season. Head coach Joe DiPietro announced that sophomore Kayla Cook, senior Kristen Maris, sophomore Allie Robinson, and junior Samantha Scholl will split the leadership role 4 ways this season. The women begin their season on February 25th in Tampa, Florida.
Hey Josh, you know what I was thinking? I think it'd be pretty cool to have an Owlsports Hall of Fame.
Well, you know who'd be a first ballot Hall of Famer, right?
Who?
Joseph James Polinsky himself.
Absolutely. You know what? Let's head into the nest. This year's Hall of Fame inductees include the greats Aaron McKee, Eddie Jones, and Rick Brunson. The 3 men were honored before the men's basketball game against St. Joe's.
Defensive back Jaquan Jarrett, linebacker Peanut Joseph, and defensive tackle Muhammad Wilkerson from the Temple football team were invited to participate in this year's NFL Combine. Good luck, fellas.
The player of the week this week is Tani Smith. Smith won the gold medal in the 800 meter and earned first-team all-conference honors in the Atlantic 10 Indoor Championships. She also led the 4x800 meter relay squad to a second-place finish.
Well, now that the season is coming to a close, what would you say your favorite or your most surprising from the men's basketball team this year?
I think it was pretty recently. I think the game against Richmond, they're a 20-win team, and they took it to them. I thought that was pretty impressive.
Definitely. I think the Georgetown game was a huge game because, a lot of people thought that, we were just going to get slaughtered in our own house.
Oh, absolutely.
And we came in, Ramon Moore dropped 30, and, we took it.
Oh, absolutely.
So it's just, that will do it for this edition of Owlsports Update. Remember, you can stay up to date with everything cherry and white by logging on to owlsports.com.
For Josh Filomeno and the rest of the Owlsports crew, thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.